I feel like
for it.
no. Okay. All right. Everybody good?
Bold move.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 30. We've made it 30 episodes on the Life Short, Live Free podcast. We got a great podcast lined up for you today. Our experts today include myself, Sam, Johnson's to my left over here, and Box down on the end.
We don't have any experts here. Sam.
I just want you to know that we are 15% of the way to having Keanu Reeves on this show.
What did I say by episode 200? Yeah. It's going to happen.
Oh,
we got our intro to get into the celebrity game with Guy Fieri or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So that's our we got an intro to get into.
That's
into
our
that. So it's gonna happen, ladies and gentlemen.
It's gonna be incredible.
So yeah, it is Saturday afternoon. I apologize if you can hear some mowing in the background. My neighbor decided once again to mow. It's that wonderful time of year when there's usually somebody around here mowing when we're doing the podcast.
And to be honest, you only have like a 6-hour window to mow right now because it's 75 and sunny and 100% humidity right now. But in 6 hours either direction of right now, it's raining. You know, like 6 hours ago it was raining. 6 hours from now it will be raining.
Well, they've been saying it's going to rain in Iowa for the last week, and we've barely got any freaking rain.
Oh, I've got like 2.5 inches at my house.
It's been overcast, but anyway, yeah, it is Saturday night. Like I said, he's mowing, so I apologize if there's any background noise. I'll do my best to edit that out. Yeah, how you guys doing today? You guys have a good week? Everything good?
I had a pretty darn good week. My Friday kind of sucked. I had like a day-long brain fart on Friday. It was just one of those days where like I woke up and I didn't quite feel right, and I never really fully recovered.
Yeah.
I just had one of those days where I didn't feel like I could get anything done. I just wasn't in the right space in my head. I don't know. It was weird. I just had a weird day.
I had one of those days the other day. Like, I had a package get lost, and it was like a $1,500 Glock that I would be on the hook for if it didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
And this was gone on for a week and a half, and the gun showed up on this particular day, and it felt great. But even that, like, there was something, I don't know, I was just negative all day long, and even that didn't put me over the top. And finally, about 6:30, I usually work until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and about 6:30, I'm just like, you know what? F*** this.
Yeah,
I'm
out of here.
I just went and cracked a beer and had myself a beer, and I felt better.
Look at that.
The alcohol, the cause of and the solution to all of life's problems. So yeah, and today, my today really freaking sucked. I have been fighting a particular gun in here that's been kicking my ass, and I had it whooped. Everything was good, and then putting it back together and had a major issue, we'll say, and we'll just leave it at that. That's one of those that you're just like, in my younger days, I probably might have put my fist through a wall on something like this.
Take it easy, Kyle.
But anymore, what's the point? You
just go drink a Monster and calm down.
No, you just go for a little bit of a walk and come back and deal with the freaking problem. It sucks ass, but it is what it is. But
yeah.
Box, how you doing?
Have you guys ever been or got that feeling like when you're so nervous that you almost feel sick?
Yeah, like you get like the weird stomach bubbles. And,
that's kind of how I've felt this entire week.
Really?
Like it got to the point where I was like, maybe I'm actually sick. Maybe I've got something. Because I was really dragging. I didn't have any energy all week long.
Yeah.
Do you have the COVID? Do you have a headache?
No.
And a cough?
No. It's pretty well gone at this
point. Do you
point.
have bloody stools?
No. Thank you, WebMD. No, I'm nervous.
Why?
Well, I'm quitting my job.
Huh?
We're gonna play like you guys don't know this. No, these guys here know this. The listeners do not know this.
Well, you realize, Box, if you put this out there on the internet, there's no going back.
I know.
You can't not quit your job after this is published.
I'm aware. That's like motivation.
Does your boss listen to this?
That's good.
I already told my boss I'm quitting.
Oh, did you?
I didn't tell Sean. Sean doesn't know, but
Drew does.
Drew does, yeah.
Oh.
I told him, hey, I'm taking vacation next week, and then I'm giving you my 2 weeks.
Hey,
so the
perfect.
day this is released will be the
2-week marker.
the day
So
I
you're gonna
officially
take,
give
you're
him
gonna
2
take your
weeks.
vacation, but then you'll go back to work for 2 weeks. You're not just gonna say fuck off and
Yeah, correct.
and quit.
Oh man,
Okay.
you should have gave your 2 weeks at the beginning of the vacation. That's really the trick.
No, I need a little bit more time
Yeah.
than that to get things.
Okay, so what's
Sorted.
what's the plan, Box?
Well, I'm kind of jumping off a cliff and
Don't
hoping
do
I
that.
sprout some wings on the way down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be employed. I'm going to try to do my own thing with ballistic imagery and hope it takes off. It's not going to lie, it's kind of terrifying.
It's exciting.
Sam
at the
probably
same
kind of
time.
went through the similar situation. He had a little bit more income at the point when he actually quit his full-time job. But I have literally nothing coming
Yeah.
from this job at this point. I've made maybe $200 from this,
Yeah.
like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't even have charged for that, to be honest. And I've sold a couple prints to mom and her sister. But other than that, I've got really nothing. I did have a guy message me the other day after I posted that last picture on Facebook, though, asking me how much I would charge for me to have a session with the AR-10 that he built. And just from, I don't know, he must be a follower
cool.
of yours or Shyworks or something like that.
Mhm.
So I didn't expect that. I didn't see him. He liked any of my pictures or anything like that. I didn't recognize his name. He's like, "Hey, how much would you charge for that?"
Cool.
Probably a little bit more expensive than he was expecting, but yeah, I didn't expect that. So
Yeah, that's
who
cool.
knows what's going to happen?
I mean, it's-
I got a couple months worth of money to
Yeah.
live off
so
of.
this podcast is sponsored by Ballistic Imagery.
Yeah.
Check them out at facebook.com/ballistic imagery as well as on Instagram.
Yeah, it's well, and that's the cool thing is like it's scary, but at the same time it's exciting, right?
Yeah.
Because you have so much cool shit in your head that you want to do and things that you're thinking about and can do, and and it gives you, I think, not being locked down with the job that you have now really gives you the opportunity to explore a lot more with your photography.
That's kind of
stuff.
how
It's
it's
cool.
been for years and years now. I realized, hey, bodywork isn't going to be my thing. Obviously,
Yeah.
since like I don't know 5-6 years ago, probably when I was working at Hagen's, I guess with Sam, was when I realized, oh, this isn't going to be what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And I started looking for a way out. And then I started making holsters, and I thought, oh, this might be my way out. But that obviously wasn't it. Then I found photography, and
That's
then
really
I was like, this is a whole different feeling.
yeah.
And I'm like, this might actually be my way out. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's scary, but what the hell if I fail? I live in mom and dad's basement for a couple months while I
right.
find another job. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a family, so
Yeah.
or a family
I mean,
to take
that's
care of, rather.
right, and that's the good thing, I guess, on at least for you, is that you don't have, you don't have a whole ton of responsibility
Yeah.
that you have to super worry about. So that's a good thing to explore something different and try and find something that you really want to do versus just doing something for a job.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard paying for the coke habit, though.
Well,
Isn't that like, don't artists have like coke habits and stuff?
Well, there's ways around that. $20 is $20. I mean,
Like, I was going to say that, but then I realized that it was me that we were talking about, and I was like, I better not say that.
So yeah, like I said, this episode is sponsored by Ballistic Imagery. Go check him out. And, putting out some cool shit, and I'll be doing
Facebook,
some cool stuff.
Instagram, all that cool
I'll
stuff.
do pretty much anything for you at
Whoa,
this point.
whoa.
I'm not that kind of stuff. Anything photography, videography involved, I'll probably do it. Of course, I'm not going to go shoot your wedding. You don't want that. That'd be a disaster.
Yep.
What about pornos?
Um,
Not right now, but depending on how desperate he gets in the future.
a month
We'll
when
see how
I'm living
things
in my
go.
parents' basement, maybe.
But yeah.
I mean, hey, I'll star in one.
I seen this video the other day, and I'm hoping I recall this right. But it's this girl. She's sitting there taking a selfie video, and so I was on Pornhub the other day, and I searched for I clicked on the first video that I saw, and it was stepmom porn. And as soon as I click on it, it took me about 5 seconds to realize that it was in fact my stepmom. And then I just, I was curious, so I watched it a little bit longer, and I thought, how bad can it really be? And then somebody walked in the door, and I realized that it was my dad. And so then I really got a little bit nervous, but I wanted to watch it a little bit longer and see what happened. And then my brother walked in.
Jesus.
And so at this point, my dad said, well, don't worry, Becky, apparently this chick's name, is downstairs eating chili. She won't hear nothing. We can do whatever. And I really remember that chili, and it was really good, but I'm just devastated that they didn't invite me too. I'm like, what is going on here?
I don't know where you find these things, Sam, and
the internet.
I really don't want you to answer, to be honest.
So let's break into the whiskey of the week, and I still have.
Really hope this makes me forget the story that you just told.
Well, it is what it is. I still have not fixed my phone. So Johnson actually is going to be doing all the sound effects for us today.
Not a good sign.
So today's whiskey of the week, Johnson.
Whiskey of the week.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That's pretty good. I can't wait for the time traveling with Toad.
You didn't get the burp in there, though.
Whiskey of the week. That was the best I could do on short
That's pretty
notice.
good.
Sorry.
This one is Knob Creek.
Knob Creek, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, aged 9 years, 100 proof, small batch. Should be good stuff.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty decent, but we shall see. We shall see. Let's see how the nose is on it.
Ooh, get the nose. God damn it.
It smells like whiskey.
Yeah, we need to do something with that.
Yeah, we really do.
I'll order a new one when I order new stands.
So never.
I've ordered one stand for myself.
Yeah,
one of four over the last year. So we're doing.
I really like it.
In 4 years, we might have all four of them.
By episode 200, hey, we'll be there.
Keanu's going to be so impressed with his brand new mic stand.
No, the guests get the old ones.
Right.
So this is actually.
Oh, sorry, Keanu. You're gonna.
This is actually
take that old springy son of a bitch. Yeah.
This is actually 100 proof. So if you guys aren't familiar, 100 proof means 50%. It's. I don't know why they do it that way. Why don't they just say what the hell it is?
Well, they do. It's right on the bottle.
Well, yeah, but they say 100 proof.
I don't know
50%.
what the proof is.
Why don't they just say proof is the same as percentage?
I don't know. I don't know what the history is behind that. I guess I've never really looked into why it's proof versus percent.
I don't know. Well, like I said, the nose is pretty good on this. Let's do a little taste test.
It smells like it'd put chest hair on
It's
you.
got a little caramel taste to it.
Does it?
A little bit.
What? Well, did it say what?
Kind of made my eyes
barrels?
water. It's 50%, obviously, so it's a little bit potent.
It's not that smooth. It doesn't taste. The taste is fine, but it's not as smooth.
It's a good taste, but it's got a lot of burn to it. It'll put hair on your
Give you a
sack.
little tingle.
Yeah, my nipples.
Yeah,
are
I
kinda
wonder
tingling.
how it is with ice.
I think it would be better over ice.
Probably.
For sure. The flavor is good though. The taste is good. I like it. Like it does have a little like toasted caramel sweetness.
What does what's the Boston one? What the Boston guy think of this? Last time he rated it at 3.8. So
I don't know.
what are you thinking about?
I don't know about Boston, but Wisconsin. The guy from Wisconsin. Now he thought it's all right.
I'm gonna rate this one at 3.4.
Is this better or worse than the Templeton?
Oh, Templeton's way better. I really like Templeton, but it's also Templeton's only 70 proof.
So I think the flavor
80 proof, something like that.
I think the flavor is right on par with the Templeton, but I just think the little bit of burn deducts just a hair for me from the Templeton.
Will you grab that Templeton for me? It's a real workout for me to get over.
What does where does shit become flammable at? 100 proof or 120 proof?
Is it 100? I thought it was like 80, 40%. Maybe not. Yeah, 100 proof. That sounds right.
I have no idea.
You got
I
a
just
lighter?
assumed that it was.
I do think it is 100 proof. I think you're right.
Oh. So anyway, that
Templeton,
Templeton, I thought Templeton was a lot better, but it's hard to compare because I mean it's 100 proof to what is that, 80 or 70 bucks?
80.
Yeah, I mean so there's a
and that's
10%
I think
percentage.
the little bit of extra burn from this Knob Creek deducts just a little bit for me.
Mhm.
But I think that would, if you were to have it,
That third sip was a whole lot smoother than the first two.
I think if you were to have it over ice, I think that would for sure change the dynamic of it. I think that would smooth it out quite a bit.
you know, no, if I was just looking to get fucked up, Knob Creek all the way.
Oh yeah, it absolutely has a good taste to it. I just think if you put it over ice, it'd smooth it out quite a bit.
Yeah, second taste is, or the second swig's a lot smoother. Your taste buds are a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna say 3.4, I guess. Box, what do you rate her as?
I'll say 3.
Johnson, what did you say?
3.3.
All right, so it's not gonna take a podium.
It's middle of the road. It's all right.
It's decent.
It's
you know.
going to make it a whole lot hotter in here.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to bring
it's
the temp
already
up.
warm.
It's going to bring the temp up.
It's getting hot in here.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't think it definitely knocks off any of the existing podium holders.
I'm going to have to try the Templeton here in a second.
Give it a little comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're getting a lot.
I don't know how far. Yeah, how far down do we want to go on the podium? Do we want to go to 5 or 6 places?
Well, no, you guys were the only two that had
Oh
Templeton.
yeah,
last
you were
time,
gone
so I
last week. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
I think Templeton could have a shot at the podium. I think it's pretty. Damn good.
I'd put it right up there against the Slipknot, but
I rated her I think a 4.3 was what I said on that shit last
I
time.
don't know why we bother rating them.
right.
We forget every single number almost immediately.
Yeah, we don't even remember what episode we're on half the time. I don't know why we think we'd remember the whiskey ratings.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know what goes wonderful with whiskey? With like a nice glass of whiskey? Like a nice...
Cocaine.
Yes. A nice nose full.
Oh, speaking of which, who's sponsoring the cocaine this week?
But to me, like a nice glass of whiskey and like some barbecue beef ribs. Oh,
I got beef ribs in the old freezer.
I have a question before we move on to this. What's this?
Oh yeah, that is Vermont maple syrup.
Oh, I guess it has a label right there, huh?
Yeah,
Showing my stupid face.
I ordered something from Atlas Gunworks the other day, which showed up extremely quick, and it was cheaper. It was one of the only places I could find in stock, and it was cheaper than all the other places I found. I ordered a Vortex Red Dot for a customer for it. But anyway, they sent that bottle along with my order because they're obviously in Vermont.
Style.
They're obviously in Vermont. But Toad said the other day that he's heard of people putting maple syrup in their whiskey.
Really?
So can we just take shots of this?
I was just gonna say.
Well,
I'm on Box's program here. Let's just take a little.
What do you think will happen if we put it in the old whiskey?
You're gonna have to stir it up. It's real thick.
It's
syrup.
I'll give her a.
That's like real.
Oh, this shit.
That ain't like Mrs. Butterworth's bullshit.
No, this is some real stuff.
You're just gonna have a glob of syrup in your whiskey now.
That's tree poop right there.
So Johnson, we were talking about beef ribs.
Yeah, so it's getting to be like grilling and barbecue season, which, mind you, I think I want to call bullshit on grilling season.
If you're not a pussy, that's all year round.
Yeah, because I grill all year round. You can ask my wife. She hates how the garage is smoky half the time because I'll like to grill in the garage. Because I'm a big fan of grilling, and I like to smoke meat, and I do like charcoal and wood. You're a real son of a bitch.
I'm sorry. It's the Knob Creek getting to me.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of grilling and smoking, and it's kind of getting to be that season for a lot of people. And the thing that I find interesting, like right now, is there's been a big influx of people, purchasing like a quarter cow or a half a pig or whole pigs, like Sam and his brother have done, and like
Yeah, we've done
doing their own butchering.
Now.
Yeah, just doing their own butchering and cleaning, and and I think the biggest thing is like I've been doing a lot of searching like on Facebook Marketplace and things for like beef, where I can buy a quarter beef and have a market or have a butcher appointment.
Good luck.
Yeah,
butchers are so damn busy for the next year and a half.
I've been looking, and it's like October is the earliest I can find, and you're gonna spend a fortune. And if you're willing to wait until like July of 2021, then you can get a decent appointment at a butcher. And I think I am super excited for like grilling season and barbecue season and smoking and all this stuff. Like I have, my deep freeze is full. I've got a couple briskets, I've got steaks, I've got pork loins, I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm excited to do this summer, and then I've got planned. But I think the most interesting part for me is how many people are now trying to become self-sufficient,
or more
self-sufficient, or like are wanting to raise their own animals. I guess
at this point, I think it's not just people are wanting to. It's just like you almost have to be a lot more, because you see pictures all the time of Walmart's empty meat shelves and shit like that going on. Well, that's a reality, and
that's something that's interesting. Like and I've seen a lot of arguments online about like, well, you're just privileged, so any minor inconvenience, like you can't go to the store and pick up a package of ribeyes, and you're geez.
Well,
it's terrible.
It's true.
It's like,
we're all extremely privileged because we've done this. I mean,
because we live in the U.S.
Our entire life. Our entire life, you go to the.
No,
that tastes like shit, guys.
you probably it's probably because you mix it too.
Whew. No, I didn't.
The Templeton rye.
Yeah, the Templeton was freaking delicious.
No, that tastes like a fart, man.
That tastes like a fart.
Well, just in case you guys were wondering, you add the maple syrup to this Knob Creek, and it's actually kind of kills the zing of it. It's pretty good. But as far as back to the subject, we've never Americans have never lived where you can't go to Walmart and
yes, they have
get whatever the hell you want.
Americans have lived that way. Do you remember the? Have you ever been in a history class about the Depression?
I'm saying this generation, dude. I'm saying this generation. There ain't nobody barely. Yes, there's people alive from the Great Depression still, but nobody really recalls. It's not. It's so weird.
Oh my god, that is fucking incredible.
Delightful.
Do what I just did. That is incredible maple syrup. I just want you to know.
All right. Well,
Vermont,
kudos, Vermont.
I would have just honestly cast you off to fucking Canada or the British. I really didn't give a shit about you until I just tried that. That is frickin' good.
Yeah, that's pretty yummy.
That is pretty damn good. Sam, just give her a shot straight there, bud.
All right. I'm gonna feel like I'm Canadian here.
Is he done mowing? Because I'm gonna open that window. It is fucking hot.
It is miserably warm in here.
You might want to wait. He might weed back. Wow, that is...
That's like...
That puts my Mrs. Buttersworth to shame.
Yes, it does. Anything you go buy at the store...
Where do we get that?
Sucks.
Let's get some more of that.
That's good.
Where's that label you ripped off? It's from, like we said,
Dakin
Vermont.
Farm. Or Dakin.
Yeah, that is really good. Wow.
Well, we're having some serious difficulties staying on subject tonight, guys. I
agree.
Don't we always?
But anyway, we were talking about nobody's in this generation has ever gone to Walmart and it's been empty shelves. It started with the toilet paper, and now we've moved on to the meats.
Meat, yeah. And that's a funny thing. Like I work in the meat processing, industry. And it's not like the animals aren't there. You know, there's tons of available animals. They're used to the standard
The supply is overwhelming.
You know, the supply is overwhelming. The number of people working in the processing plants is, you know, minimal, and they're trying to space people out, and people just aren't coming to work because they say they're sick or they are sick or whatever, and they're just working at, you know, a reduced capacity. So they're not able to produce as much as they normally can. So that, I mean, obviously is going to give you a shortage on the shelves, but I think it's been interesting to see the shift of, at least around here in the Midwest, all these people who are used to, you know, just going to the store and picking up pork chops or pork loins or steaks or whatever, going to local butchers and, you know, getting a quarter cow or a half hog or
Dude, the local,
whatever.
The local butchers are freaking, they're
raking in cash right now.
What do
It's
they
awesome.
say? Living high on the hog right now. I don't even know what that statement means.
But it's been interesting, and like for me, another interesting aspect of it is, you know, we have chickens, we have laying hens, and the funny thing is, like in February and March, when most of your normal like Baumgars and stuff have a ton of hens, they didn't, or like have a ton of baby chicks, they didn't hardly have any. There was like a nationwide shortage of baby chickens because so many people were going to like buy chickens, because eggs were going for like $4 a dozen at the grocery stores and stuff, and over that. And
we just got a bunch of we just got chickens out on my folks. My brother's built a chicken coop, and he doesn't have a room at his place, so he put it on my folks' land. So we got a bunch of laying hens down there now.
Yeah, and
be
like
a few months before they start producing, but
it's crazy, like how many people like saw this situation and we're like, oh shit, you know, like the grocery store isn't just magically full all the time, you know, like it was pretty incredible to see Baumgars empty of chickens. Like normally February, March, it is jam-packed full. There's baby chicks everywhere. And to see that place
around
like,
Easter.
to see that
Easter,
place
that's
empty,
a hot selling item,
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And there's been what has been really funny is there's been a big increase in cases of salmonella from all these backyard chickens, because people have no idea how to, you know, keep themselves clean from these chickens and eat.
How do you get salmonella?
Undercooked chicken and touching their shit. And
can you get it from eggs?
You can get it from eating raw eggs. But like handling their poop.
I think I'm pretty sure I'm probably immune.
Eating raw eggs.
Well, whenever I cook eggs, like you know, you break the egg and put it in your whatever. But instead of washing my hands off, I just lick my hands off, so the raw eggs. But I never figured.
Plenty of people eat raw eggs.
It's honestly, it's a bacteria that occurs a lot of times in their feces. So if they have shit on the eggs, you touch the eggshell with poop on it, crack the egg, and lick your fingers off, and you've eaten their shit.
You've been eating chicken shit, Sam.
Yep.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? I don't know. That's just what I've always done, because I'm too lazy to wash my hands instead of just licking it off, I guess.
You know, it is what it is. But yeah, like we go through, you know, we have 14 chickens now. 5 of which are of age for laying eggs.
So we had one egg a day from
Rip Snickers.
Rip Snickers.
Yeah, she died.
Too bad. So do you get one egg a day from the laying?
Yeah, it's I think it averages like 20. I think their laying cycle is 28 hours.
That's freaking incredible, though, dude. Think about that. They're producing that whole freaking thing.
The whole
whole thing almost once a day.
Yeah, and like my favorite chicken, Jabba. She lays. I mean,
like
to tell
Jabba
you,
the Hutt.
Yeah, that's what I named her. Jabba the Hutt.
Okay.
She's a big fat bitch.
Okay.
But she lays these. I mean, to tell you, like, have you ever bought extra large eggs from the store. Like these things,
ostriches looking
extra large eggs from the store don't hold a candle to this bitch's eggs. These things are enormous, but we get like on average 4 to 5 eggs a day right now, and oh man, they're so much better than what you get at a store. And we've been having a lot of discussion lately about other animals. So like we've been looking at getting a lot of goats are worthless. Why would I buy a goat?
They're hilarious.
Actually, they're
but they're worthless. It's like horses. You just spend money on
laughter is the best.
What do you mean they're worthless? You get goat milk, you can freaking butcher and eat them.
No, I ain't eating goat. Fuck off. Jesus.
Why not?
Christ.
How do you know what goat tastes like?
They mow your lawn.
No.
Damn right. They're not worthless. They're entertaining.
So what I've been looking at, you guys are just giving more fuel to my wife's fire. Would you shut the hell up?
Oh,
she listens to these.
All right.
Bray, you should totally get a goat.
Get a fucking goat.
Or a goat.
She wants ducks.
Name it Steve.
She wants ducks and she wants another horse, which I'm never buying another horse.
Horses are worthless.
You want to talk about a worthless fucking animal?
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, if you use them as a working horse, yes, but or if somebody wants to ride them,
no,
obviously, but whatever.
Stupid. So I want to
be sleeping on the couch the day this comes out.
It's okay. I want if we're gonna get more animals, I want to get one like market heifer or market steer. I don't really care, and then I want like 2 pigs. Well, her compromise on that, she wants just more pets. She wanted 2 ducks. Once she wants a horse, she wants a goat, whatever. Okay. Well, her compromise was if we get 2 pigs and a cow, then she wants a potbelly pig that we can keep as a pet that we're not going to butcher. It's like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, good luck with that, buddy.
Yeah. So we've been looking at expanding our little homestead as far as
you're gonna have
livestock.
a freaking petting zoo out there before too long.
I know. Tell me about it.
You're going to be like the Tiger King in Northwest Iowa.
Except he's going to be the goat king.
I'm going to be the goat king.
The goat. My folks used to have goats.
Yeah.
They're good. They're
good lawnmowers. That's about it.
Goat milk, man. Not everybody can drink cow milk.
I don't really care. All of us in our house can drink cow milk.
So anyway, we're talking about we kind of glazed over it, the grilling aspect of all this.
Yeah, it's been slowed down. Is I think kind of the gist of it is it's been delayed.
What, grilling?
Just
I'll tell you what. We did two pigs recently. My family did. Split them all up amongst ourselves, all the meat, and the first one we did. There's when you split a pig, you cut her in half, and then so obviously you get 2 of everything on either side, and one of the sides of the pork belly, which you usually make bacon with, we screwed up a little bit. So
what the hell?
Well, we ended up. I needed some pork belly.
How does a person ruin bacon?
We're amateur butchers, man.
So what we ended up doing was I needed pork belly grind anyways. So we ground up a lot of the pork belly grind to mix with the deer that I got in my freezer.
Yeah.
And then some of it we cut it into strips like country style ribs basically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 6 inches long, a couple inches thick. I grilled that up the other night. Oh my God.
It's like melting your mouth.
It is the best freaking pork.
Yeah.
Like
so
this is like jizz in your shorts deliciousness, man.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome.
You know, another funny thing that my wife was actually talking about today was, if we get a couple pigs and we butcher them, well then, you can make like soap. You make candles. You can make all kinds of shit.
And there's a lot of fat on those things.
That's what I'm saying. Like think of all the back fat on a pig.
There's a lot of
like
it.
on
a good inch.
Yeah, like on a deer, there's not a whole lot of back fat. There's a bit, but on a pig, there's a ton of back fat.
Mm-hmm.
You can take all of that lard,
boil it,
melt it down.
Yeah.
Candles, soap, all kinds of shit. It's
there was a lot
crazy.
Of it.
The thing,
first one,
because
we saved all the fat off the first one, We didn't really on the second one just because we had so much off the first
Yeah.
one. You know, there's only so much shit you're gonna
Right,
use
yeah.
it for. You know,
Well,
and
and
we try to use everything. You know,
Yeah,
'Cause
as
we're-
much as you could.
I mean, we're
Have
respectful.
you ever had head cheese?
No, but I've heard of my grandpa used to make head cheese. Apparently, I have no idea what it is.
It stinks like shit, but boy, it tastes good.
Sounds nice.
There's some people that really don't like it. I mean, I think it's kind of more of an acquired taste. It's kind of
That usually
it's a
means
stinky
it's terrible.
cheese. It's a stinky cheese. You know, it's got
Beer's an acquired taste, and how delicious is that?
it's like a stinky cheese, kind of weird. Like it's not even really a cheese. It's more of like a I don't know. It's almost like a yogurt
What's it made out of again?
consistency. It's I'd have to look honestly.
My dad
I've never made
we
it.
talked about
I've
it the other
ate
day.
it.
My
I've
dad
never
told me
made it.
about it, and I can't freaking remember what. It's like you grind up. Is it the head?
But it's part of the head. I mean, it's not called head cheese for nothing. It's made out of parts of the head. I don't remember.
That's one
exactly
thing that
what-
we didn't do much with was the head. You know. We just,
Yeah, let me.
Head cheese is not a dairy cheese, but a terrine or meat jelly often made with
Yeah,
flesh from the
meat-
head of a calf
meat
or a
jelly.
pig, or less commonly, a sheep or a cow.
meat jelly. Why does that? Why does that sound
Yeah,
so funny to me?
well, and that's like I said. I don't think it's like a normal cheese. It's like, so you remember the pickled pig's feet? Remember
Yeah,
how there was like
disgusting.
jelly
Yes.
in that? Well, that's kind of like they take like the brain and the head meat and like jaw meat and weird shit and kind of.
Yeah, we talked about using the pig's feet, but we totally didn't. We just
Yeah.
threw those. We threw that out to the coyotes. So, but yeah, my dad was telling me my grandpa used to make head cheese all the time. Apparently he liked it, but I'm sure it is not for everyone.
It's definitely not for everyone. Head cheese is not for everyone, but
So, well, do we got anything else we wanted to cover with the whole grilling and self-sufficiency scene?
I don't know. I think I would definitely promote people becoming more self-sufficient and, you know, doing a lot of research on becoming more self-sufficient. And not necessarily everybody having their own animals and, you know, trying to raise their own livestock and things like that. But
We don't need
if
that.
if you're interested in it, try it. You know, it's a good skill to learn to take care of an animal like that and be able to butcher it yourself and everything. But I think more or less just support your local
Absolutely.
butchers, you know,
Your local community.
yeah, because
You could be
If
growing
you've got-
something that somebody else doesn't have.
yeah,
Trade
like a
them,
local
little
farmers
barter
market,
system.
like a local farmers market thing, you know, that would be incredible. If, you know, because, you know, a ton of people, well, I'm going to plant 10 tomato plants this year. Well, I've got 1,400 tomatoes at the end of the year and I can't use all of them,
Mhm.
but I don't have any pork in my freezer.
So which way
You
do you,
know,
which
so
way do you
I-
see this going? Because it's going both ways. Like, and
Yeah.
hear me out a second. It's going both ways because yes, communities are becoming more self-reliant and self-sufficient. People are getting chickens, butchering their own animals, planting more gardens and such. But at the same time, it's like we forgot. Like before this all started, like there was so much doubt in what the media and the government was reporting to us. And now it seems like everybody's forgot that, and everything that the government puts out, they think is just fact. Oh, the government said this, we got to do this. You know, we got to do this, we got to do this. You know, do you know what I'm saying though?
yeah,
So it's like, which way are we going with it? Like, I'm so confused.
I think there's far and far. There's every week there's less and less people who just follow the government blindly. I think that's a dying way. Like I think that the more and more that the government says this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. Like I think that the government, I don't know, you can call me a conspiracy theorist on all this shit, but I think the government was trying to put us more and more in control during this whole ordeal, and I think less and less people are wanting to be controlled because I think more and more people are becoming aware, like, hey, this is bullshit.
fucking ridiculous.
This
Like
is ridiculous.
California just locked down for another 3 months. So that'll be 5 when they get out of this 3 months. That will be 5 months.
They're
of
not even
basically
like
house
allowed to
arrest.
go outside. There was people being arrested for sun tanning.
And one guy was
ridiculous.
what do you call that with the big ass surfboard, just paddling or
paddleboarding.
Yeah, they fucking went out there and arrested him.
Yeah, get him on the beach, like, whoa.
Which was more
you're outdoors.
Which they forced the contact, within 6 feet because they had to so
yeah,
so yeah, we're all on the same page here. It's fucking ridiculous. But which that kind of leads us into our next subject. I was reminded of this the other day. The Bundy standoff scenario or situation that happened several years ago. When was that exactly?
I want to say 2006.
I think it. No. It was way. This was like 2014 or something. It was in the teens.
Oh, it was 2014.
Wow.
I don't know why I thought it was way later than that.
I am good. But hey, before we get into that, do we want to go? We want to do the live thing real quick. And
yeah, we can do that.
Cover for me.
Well, it's been 20 to 40 minutes, so I think we're good. I mean, I've been recording for almost an hour, but 20 of that was
just
us not talking,
us doing nonsensical.
Right. So what we're doing here is, before we dive into the Cliven Bundy scenario situation, we're going live on Facebook. So anybody that sees us there can ask us random questions. So we'll be answering all these questions on Facebook. So any questions you guys have, shout at us, and we will, as soon as we dive into that section of the podcast, we'll answer them. Whether you guys want to talk about
that's impossible.
Whether you guys want to talk about ridiculous questions or whatever you want, from simple to completely ludicrous, just let us know.
It's not just Sam here. He's just too much of an asshole to show box.
Right. There's Johnson,
I'm over here,
Johnson, but there's also,
hey guys.
Yep. So we're here in the Life Short Live Free HQ. So yeah, just ask your questions below, and we'll get to them if you guys got any questions. So, but I kind of wanted to dive into this whole box. Are you familiar with this whole situation that happened?
Not familiar enough.
6 years ago.
I mean, I'm certainly conscious of it, but I don't know like details.
So basically, what was going on?
I know what happened. Yeah.
Basically, what was going on for anybody that's listening, and Johnson, if you are aware of anything I say wrong, please correct me. But basically what was happening is the federal government has taken over a lot of state land, basically, and they call it BF, I can't remember what it is. It's Bureau of Land Management. BLM. So what was going on was the Bundy family has been grazing their cattle on this land for 100 years.
And it's not just the Bundy family. There's a ton of families out there who use BLM land for their lives.
Right. And by the way, I don't believe that there's any provisions in the Constitution which allows the government to just go in and take over acres and acres and hundreds of thousands of acres of land, state land. I don't believe there's any. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So
if they purchase, and that's the thing, is if they purchased that land, that's a different story, because
I believe there is provisions in there, actually. So they're totally bullshit, but they're there.
Right.
Essentially, nobody owns land.
I'm saying in the Constitution. I'm not saying in federal law.
Yeah.
There's a difference between the Constitution and federal law, because the Constitution was established,
I know,
and that's extreme law of the land. But any law that was established after that, no matter what they say that provides for, it's got to go back to the Constitution. So you could pass a law that says, hey, the government can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, but is there anything in the Constitution that says the government can't do whatever the fuck they want?
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what the Constitution is.
That's what the Constitution is.
That was a bad explanation.
But
I'm saying there can be a law that says the government can purchase land and charge and charge tenants, right? But there's nothing in the Constitution that says the government can't buy land.
So anyway, we've got a little bit off subject.
Yeah.
Basically, the federal government was trying to take the Bundy's cattle that they had been grazing on federal land, because they said that they hadn't paid them.
They hadn't paid their BLM fees. Yeah.
Right. And so the Bundy says, well, screw you. My family has been grazing our cattle on this land for 100 years. We've never paid fees, and we're not going to start now. Well, the feds responded by coming out and trying to forcibly take their cattle from them. What happened after this was the Bundys put out a plea on social media, basically turned into a situation where, people said, no, this is not happening. I'm sorry. The government is not going to take from this man.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was there was a ton of Patriots that went down there too. And where was it? Was it Arizona?
Arizona, I believe, or New Mexico.
Somewhere, one of those 4 states in there: Arizona,
Southwest.
New Mexico.
I thought it was Colorado, but
no, it wasn't Colorado. So
clearly we know what we're talking about.
A bunch
here.
of Patriots went down there.
Southeastern Nevada.
Nevada.
We all nailed it.
So a bunch of Patriots went down there, and
AKA none of us
basically stood against the small army of feds that were out there, and this is one of the biggest arguments for the Second Amendment that I have ever seen in the entire history of our nation. Because what happened was, yes, there wasn't a war fought. There wasn't a massive battle there. Right. This was citizens stood up and they says, "Hey, you're not taking this shit unless you come through us.
I'll be your Huckleberry."
And yes, exactly. And they were armed as well as those feds were. So those feds knew that whatever they did, that was going to come right back at them.
Yeah, we start popping off rounds. We're all gonna get smoke checked over here. They were like, is what we're doing right? Like, are we really? They kind of had to take a look at things, and you look at so many times, like in mobs and people like in cities when people are pissed off and they have, like, say there's some sort of racist scenario going on. That's generally what it's been. Well, look in Missouri. Ferguson, Missouri.
Right, absolutely. And that giant mob came and says, "You know what? We're fed up with this." And what the feds do? They came in with tear gas and their big ass MRAPs and their weapons.
Yeah.
And they say, "Screw you, back off."
Story.
Guess what? I am not advocating for violence at all.
Right.
I'm advocating for peace. But peace does not come through being defenseless.
Well, peace does not come through obeying by Big Brother say so.
Yeah. So I guess my whole I love that whole scenario because the citizens stood up and they says, "Hey, we're not taking this shit, and you're not taking a citizen's property.
Yep.
Get out of here." And it ended up there was one citizen that ended up killed in that situation.
It went through. I mean, the whole scenario. I mean, it didn't just happen that fast, right? So, like, the Bundys, the government didn't just randomly one day say, "Hey, we're, taking all your cattle because you're on BLM land and you haven't paid your fees," right?
Right.
There was like 20 years of court battles between the Bundys and
there
the
was
government.
a lot more going on.
There was a lot more going on, and basically the Bundys just held their ground and just said, "Hey, piss off." Like year after year, decade after decade, they just basically said, "No, we're not paying you these BLM fees. We're not paying for shit."
Right.
We may not own this land, but nobody else does either, so you're not coming to take my cattle.
They can't just come in and say, "Hey, we own this land now, give us money."
Right.
And that is, I think
that was really the scenario, was nobody really had a claim for that land. Nobody had purchased that land, but nobody really had
Right.
There was no
government.
physical title to that land that the Bundys owned it. The government had purchased it. Nothing. There was really no ownership shown for that land. It was just kind of no man's land. And then the government was like, well, that's ours because it's in the border of the United States. So we own that.
Right.
And the Bundys were like, piss off. I ain't paying you shit.
I'm going to interrupt here for a second. Sam, how are our questions going over there? Maybe you need to remind.
We've only got one. If you guys are watching on our Facebook Live here, we are doing a podcast right now. So what we want from you guys, if you got any questions for us, no matter how ludicrous, go ahead and ask them below, Chris. We are not 6 feet apart, but whatever. It is what it is.
We're 4 feet apart.
We're like 3.5, but we're drinking.
I thought that
we got booze, so we're
drinking
immune.
alcohol. So
but we're in Plymouth County,
virus.
so who cares?
Right. And before you guys ask, 3.5. That'll save you 3.5 inches. That'll save you the question. So we're good to go.
Yeah, if you're asking any kind of questions, all three of us, honestly.
Hey, whoa. Speak for yourselves.
Okay, sorry. 4.
Strong 3 3/4.
3 3/4 from box, 3.5.
It is a Saturday night, guys. Sorry, and we already did whiskey of the week, which was 100 proof whiskey. Which, speaking of which, hand me that the little knob.
I kind of want some more of that.
Talking about little knobs. Whiskey of the week.
Knob Creek was the whiskey of the week, so it was pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway,
didn't make the podium.
Did not make the podium. But back to the conversation. I think this whole situation plays in a lot to what's going on right now because we see so many governors and so many state governments just telling people
this is
the law of the land. They're saying this is the law of the land. I got news for you, Bucko. That ain't the law of the land.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Illinois.
but the governor cannot make laws. The only thing she can do is sign into law the laws that our Congress, our state legislatures, I can't say that word for me, please.
Legislators
have passed. Exactly. That's the only thing
that just makes me happy. Say that word for me, please.
That's the only thing that they can do. They can't make these. They can't just make laws by decree.
And I love how Illinois has been the biggest display of this. This big fucking idiot. Pardon my French, but this big dumb son of a bitch.
Yeah,
he has just got to be one of. I'm not. I do not understand how anybody from Illinois, like even the far lefty idiots, how the dumbest people in the state, left or right, I don't care what side you're on, what color you are, what green, purple, yellow, I don't care, but anybody in the state of Illinois looked at that guy and said, yeah, I'm going to vote for this guy.
He seems like an intelligent individual.
Fucking idiot. God, he has just like.
And, well, he tried to make up a law the other day that said if you open your business
felony.
early,
it's a felony.
It's a felony. Which,
under
what authority? Like you can't just make laws, dude.
Yeah, and even they came back and it's like, it's a Class A misdemeanor, and he's like,
still,
sorry,
still a misdemeanor.
Never mind. JK.
And we were talking about this. Who was I talking about this just a little bit ago? California, they locked down their citizens for another 3 months.
3 months.
So
it was LA County, not all of California.
Okay,
the state of California is actually opening up. LA County
they are
opening
up.
down.
LA County is.
So anyway, but they've basically put their citizens into house arrest, and after this 3 months is up, that'll be 5 months of basically house arrest. Under what authority?
Yeah.
Somebody tell me where in the Constitution that it says all this shit is void if we say there's a fucking emergency.
Right. That's the part that really gets me, and that the governors have been really using to their advantage is, it's emergency decree. And it's like, well, that doesn't mean that all the past has just disappeared and you can just say whatever the hell you want and whatever you say goes. That's not how any of this works. That's not how government works.
Mm-hmm. The president is a dictator, but we can what we say goes, and whatever the heck, it's just completely ludicrous.
Yeah.
So that was basically my whole reason that I brought up the Bundy standoff was I'm not advocating for violence at all.
Right.
But I'm advocating for citizens to stand up.
People to stand up and
take
say,
their rights.
Hey, this is bullshit. We have rights and freedoms and liberties as United States citizens and just as people. There are God-given freedoms that the Constitution protects. And that's another thing that I think a lot of people misinterpret is that the Constitution gives us these rights. No. These are God-given rights, and the Constitution protects the government from protects the citizens from the government from taking those away.
And it restricts the government from doing. It doesn't grant us anything. It
doesn't grant us anything. It restricts the government from infringing upon those rights.
What I've always loved in Second Amendment arguments is the people that say, "Oh, you really think your AR-15 is going to protect you from the government?" I mean, if they want to, they're just going to fucking nuke you.
Okay.
Okay. So it's either
listen,
I'm the rest
fucking idiot,
or they're starting an all-out war. They're
going to nuke my house.
There's all sorts of shit that goes on that you never even fucking hear about.
Yep, right. And that's exactly why this Bundy...
They're going to nuke my house because I didn't give up my AR-15. Yep. Shut the fuck up.
That's why this Bundy standoff is so important, and it just models exactly why the Second Amendment is needed in America, especially nowadays with what we got going on.
You got any questions over there?
Oh, nothing really too much. Chris says, he says you like to play poker with us. Bush.
That's not a question,
chops
Chris.
And cards. He said, and he also says, yes, we have rights. I'm prepared to stand for them. Not a boy.
Yeah,
and Chris,
absolutely.
By the way, this son of a bitch right here single-handedly saved me $1,500.
I was curious about that. How did he save your ass?
God damn it, Chris. I don't know what you do or who you know, but you are one bad motherfucker. That's all I have to say about that.
So what happened was I shipped a gun, which I do all the time. I shipped a gun back to North Carolina, and it went missing. So it went out for delivery on a Thursday, and just disappeared. There was an adult signature requirement on it, and it just disappeared. There was no tracking, no nothing. For a week and a half, nothing came up. And
I lost my fucking mind. I'd have been on a plane to North Carolina.
I called the post office. Nobody would answer. Nobody answered at the post office that it went out at. And then the customer finally gave me another number that post office answered. And so they answered, and I told them what was going on. And she says, well, how'd you get this number? This is an internal number. And I about lost it. I says, lady, I've been calling the last number that I've had. I've called 4 different numbers, and you ignore all of them. You don't answer the phone. What do you want me to do? I was fairly polite because, she was just doing her job.
I lost my fucking mind.
So anyway,
this is an internal number. We don't answer the phone here.
It was missing.
Fuck you.
This gun was missing for a week and a half. And Chris finally says he owns a business in Sioux City. And he does a ton of business through USPS. So he has contacts, and he contacted the right person, and within 2 or 3 days after he started talking to this person, the package showed up, and it was delivered good right to where it was supposed to be. So I don't know what you did, but I love you. It was awesome.
Maybe you did nothing, Sam.
No, he definitely ruffled some feathers, and I appreciate it. So when I get these new, I got a new Shyworks. You can actually see right here the new Shyworks design. I'm working on new hats and shirts, and Chris, you were getting some free ones, buddy. Wade, what's up, man? Howdy, he says, howdy, fellas.
Get us some questions, Wade. What are some good questions?
You guys are bad
that you want answered.
Thing.
Of course, it's Saturday night. What time is it? 6, 7 o'clock?
It's like 8:30. It's 8:11.
It is 8:11.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 6:30.
Nah,
no, that's about when we started.
It's when we tried to start.
Well, yeah. But anyway, I think while we wait for some more questions, I think it could be time to cover
or the first question.
Or a question.
Let's
we
head on
could
to
discuss
the badass of the week.
This is the baddest son of a bitch I have ever seen ever. Yeah, it's the baddest dude of the week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was prepared to do that part, Johnson.
That was good. Hey. My sound system is kind of broke, so Johnson is doing.
Well, I just I'll
nailed
just
it.
do the sound effects this week and
Nailed
we'll
it.
figure it out.
Box, who do we got this week?
This is going to be a rough one. I'm not going to lie, because there's a lot of stuff in this.
Ooh, a lot of stuff.
Even though it's a fairly straightforward.
It's really
story.
straightforward, but it's really confusing.
Well, I didn't have one, so I just read up on it a little bit ago.
Oh, you're pulling a toad on us, are you?
I'm sorry. I've had some other things on my mind.
I mean, I can't really blame them, but at the same time,
I don't know, like feeding myself.
Get your shit together.
Put your bitch in.
I'm not bitching.
Hey, Box.
Okay.
I tell you what.
What?
You get hungry? I got a whole case. I have a whole case
Budweiser?
of ramen noodles.
I've
pantry.
never had ramen noodles in my life.
What?
Well,
Nope.
Get ready, buddy.
Nah, I'm not going to be that broke.
I hope not.
I'm going to be
I hope you're not.
rich in 3 months.
There you go. That's the
anyways.
attitude.
All right. Well, I'm not sure how to say this dude's name, but I can't even fucking find it on here. He's Norwegian, a Norwegian commando.
Boy, that is tough.
Jan Balsrud.
Balsrud?
Yeah. I think that's how it looks to me. Anyways, it's spelled Jan, but I believe it's Jan Balsrud. Yeah. So this was 1943.
My balls run.
I believe, and there was 12 commandos. There was 8 Norwegians or something, and 4 other of some shit that I've never even heard of. I'm not gonna lie.
Something else you can't pronounce.
You're really nailing this.
No,
Box.
Kapani Linge. It's not important. Kapani Linge is how it looks like it's spelled. But I've never even. Yeah, I don't know what that is. But they were supposed to sneak in to this German airbase in northern Norway and destroy all these things. And there was one of the commandos. They had a contact in that city. And one of the commandos tried contacting this guy. And it turned out to be a shopkeeper who just so happened to have the same name as their supposed contact, but he wasn't. So he talked to this guy and told him all these things. So this shopkeeper, who was not their actual contact, went and told the Germans. And these guys, these Norwegian commandos, they had a boat full of, they had a whole shit ton of explosives. I can't remember how much it was. They had a ton of explosives on this boat, though, to blow all this shit up. And then the Germans found out about it from this shopkeeper. So they had to go back, and these Norwegians had to go back and kind of try and run from all these Germans, because they had been obviously tipped off, and they realized, okay, we're not gonna make it. So they had to blow up their own boat. One of the one or two of the guys on their boat got killed by the Germans, and the rest it was 2 of them, or one of them got killed, and then the vessel sank, and the rest and 10 others got captured and pulled off, and the Germans executed them. And then there was this one guy, the Jan Balsrud. He was all prepared to go. He'd been training for this mission, and he had to go swimming a whole bunch. So when the firefight started, he dove off and he swam to shore and stuff. And he managed to escape this whole shit show. And over the next 9 weeks, he traveled from the very northern edge of Norway down into Sweden. And this was like in the middle. There was mountains and shit that he had to climb over and stuff like that. And he was all on his own. It was Norway, and he was Norwegian, so he did have help along the way, obviously. But all of them were risking their lives doing this. So all the Germans were. This was just a nationwide manhunt. Awkward silence. See, I told you there's a lot of shit to this that I can't. I usually have to write this stuff down.
The interesting part of that is, like, as a Norwegian going south through Norway. And that's like something else that, we talked about earlier is like Americans never having to go through this before. And just having a different aspect is like World War II was such a different time in history that like even in your own country or just like a neighboring country, can you imagine going to Canada and just like having somebody totally rat you out to like the British Empire? Hey, we're, to the French.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to me. And like being a Norwegian and going through Norway, getting help, and then going, and even being hunted in your own home country, and then going into Sweden and having the Germans really on your ass. That's crazy.
Right.
Like that blows my mind. Like I guess I can't. It's hard for me to fathom, being so close to home. And I guess it's different, like in Europe, with countries being as small as they are and as close to each other as they are. But, just being in neighboring countries and just having that much hatred for you, like being manhunted.
Mm. Yeah, like a lot of times we live our whole lives, and a lot of people live their whole lives here and never leave the United States. We're over there, it's more of a union, or they travel back and forth.
Right. I don't know. It just seems crazy to me. Like that's something about World War II that kind of blows my mind. Like being in Europe in World War II or being a European in World War II would had to have been a crazy, crazy time.
So I was saying all these Norwegians were helping him stuff, and some of them they like fed him and they sheltered him for a little bit and everything, and some of them gave him skis, and so he was moving pretty quick at this point along with the skis, and then a blizzard throws him off course, and he was suffering badly from exposure and snow blindness, and he was headed towards this Mount Yegavar, I believe, and he ended up getting in the middle of an avalanche there, threw him down the mountainside there, and that destroyed his skis, and he lost all his supplies and shit. So at this point, it says he was delirious and hallucinating, and he thought he was hearing the voices of the other 11 guys that had already been killed, and he wandered along for 3 days, and he found some more friendly Norwegians, obviously, and they stored him in this little shed that they found. And his feet were they were frostbitten to hell. And they were like, all right, stay here for a while and we'll go back and get you supplies. And that didn't happen. Obviously, the Germans were fucking everything up. So he sat in there for a while and his feet kept getting worse and worse. And he noticed some of them were starting to get gangrene on him. So he cut off his big toe with a pocket knife that he sterilized with his lantern. And then he chopped off the tips of the rest of his toes. Oh. Yeah. He said at this point he was seriously considering suicide. So after a while, 5 days later, I guess, he noticed the gangrene just kept going and going. So he just cut off the rest of his toes. So Jesus. Yeah.
Good Lord.
But
man,
eventually,
oh man.
He's a bad dude.
I believe there's a movie about him called The 12th Man. It's a foreign movie, I think. It's subtitled and shit. I found that when I'm kind of curious about it. Oh, it actually looks like a really good movie. But eventually, there's some resistance members. They found him and they threw him on like a toboggan and they got him into a hospital in Sweden, and he weighed 80 pounds when he got there.
Holy shit.
He was just freaking tiny. He had to learn how to walk again and all that shit.
I can imagine.
Right?
Like cutting all your fucking toes off.
Right?
Jeez.
I don't even like digging slivers out.
Right. God dang.
After he had walked all the way across Norway.
So he was just trying to get back to his home?
Well, I mean,
he was trying to get somewhere friendly because Norway was invaded.
Norway was invaded by the Germans.
Interesting.
So, I mean, on the plus side, at least at least he didn't like lop his whole leg off. That would have made
Right.
it far more difficult.
I think he probably would have killed himself before lopping his leg off.
Yeah.
Chris was asking that where can I go 4-wheeling around here? And are you guys down?
Avon, South Dakota. There is.
It's not around here.
That's not, that's not
Yeah,
close.
it is. That's fairly close.
South Dakota, that's like an hour.
Okay, when
If
you say it
don't
that
think-
way, Sam,
Yeah, exactly.
you're really not helping our argument here.
Jeez.
It's like 45 miles away.
Oh my god.
He said around here, not.
Well, where's he at?
Avon, South Dakota
He
is
lives down the
110
street.
miles from here.
He lives down the road from Johnson. Well,
Really?
instead of turning north onto whatever the road that is,
K49.
K49, you just go straight like 2 miles. Chris lives right there.
Which Chris Shanahan?
Uh-huh.
Huh. I know that.
Chris, I didn't know you were such a close neighbor to me. You need to come shoot. Avon, South Dakota, there is a...
We're terrific hosts.
But there's an off-road park outside of Avon, South Dakota. You need to look it up. There's I've got a lot of friends that have gone there. As far as like there's trail riding there, there's like some deep holes if you want to do like mud bogging type stuff. It depends on what you want to do, but Avon, South Dakota, supposedly there's an off-road park out there that really has a lot of fun stuff to do. If you want to do like trail riding type stuff, I would definitely recommend going out to the Black Hills. Even if that isn't something that you have a trailer or something that you're able to take your stuff out there, I would look at a rental. There's a lot of really good places that have rentals for ATVs and UTVs.
Just ride your 4-wheeler out there.
Yeah, I mean it's only 500 miles, so you could make it in a few days or a week or so.
That's on roads. If you go as the crow flies on your 4-wheeler,
right? Yeah.
you'll be there in no time.
Yeah, because, I mean, as the crow flies in Interstate 90 isn't the same thing from here. But also the Les Hills. Les Hills, there's a lot of cool roads. If you have, I guess that depends on if you have your vehicle or your ATV or UTV registered to be on the road and insured and yada yada, or if you care, if you don't, like I don't, I just take my shit to Hinton all the time or Lamar's to go get stuff whenever I want. If you don't care, just go ride it. It's fun. There's a lot of stuff in the Les Hills. A lot of cool roads that would be good trails for ATVs and UTVs and stuff. But if you're looking to do like mud bog type stuff, Talsma's, I think is the name of it. Talsma's ATV park or Talsma's off-road park or something in Avon, South Dakota. It's really supposed to be a really cool place.
So what about this douche that you were all excited to tell me about, Johnson?
Yeah. So how do I?
You forgot it. Don't be like me, man.
No, I'm not like you. I'm trying to think of how to do the sound effects properly for the. Right. It's like woo woo woo! What a douche! Right? So,
nailed it.
No,
that,
that's not even close. But we're gonna call. Good job.
I don't know
buddy.
how he could possibly get that one though.
It was all at the same time as the
Right.
talking. I couldn't. It's hard to do all at one time.
You did good, bud. You did good.
But the what a douche for this week. The douche is actually the victim, which is a little different than usual. There was a gentleman in Omaha, Nebraska, who he was a corrections officer, and he actually has now been arrested for murder.
Oh, just that little charge.
Yeah, just a small little thing called murder, where he, killed
That's
a
just
guy.
a misdemeanor, right?
Yeah, I don't think this one was. It was like a premeditated deal. So, and honestly, the guy who killed the guy, in my opinion, I don't know, and it's maybe an unpopular opinion, but isn't that much of a douche. But the guy who he killed was definitely a douche, and this happened to be an ex-corrections officer. He used to work in a correctional facility, and he murdered a man who was a repeat offender as a sex offender. He had been arrested in like 2007, and this just happened in the last couple of weeks. He had been arrested, in the past as, I don't even remember, sexual assault to a minor and some other disgusting charges. And this ex-corrections officer, so this gentleman who ended up murdering this pedophile, he was a corrections officer. He dealt with prisoners who were repeat offender sex offenders. He was actually a teacher at a school when he was arrested. And he dealt a lot with children who had dealt with being raped or who were victims of sexual assault. So he dealt with a lot of children who were victims of sexual assault, and he found out that this gentleman was living in his neighborhood from the sex offender list. And he had, I don't know if he was watching the guy or if he had just driven past or whatever, but he had seen this guy like seriously staring down some kids and like watching kids and winking at kids and stuff. And he kind of drove around. The guy had a bunch of playground equipment and shit in his backyard and had no kids, was single, and he just was very upset that this guy was basically just trying to do the same thing that he had got out of prison for doing before. And he shot the guy, and he wrote an anonymous email to a bunch of news sources and just a bunch of different news agencies and police agencies in Omaha, said that he had done this, and then came out on Facebook and said that, had admitted guilt to doing it and kind of turned himself in, and ended up going into the police station and turning himself in. But it was like really a surprise to like his ex-wife, and his ex-wife had said that he had no violent tendencies. He was a wonderful co-parent to their kids and like was a great dad, and did everything right. He was a really nice guy, was a super nice guy, but she felt that his past as a correctional officer dealing with that particular scenario definitely led to what he did.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
So that was something local that I had found that was a little interesting.
Down in Omaha, about 2 hours, hour and a half from us.
And they
so
called him
the
like
guy that got
the
killed?
vigilante.
The douche is the guy that got killed.
Yeah.
I don't think he qualifies as a douche. I think he's a little higher up on the scale.
Oh, definitely higher on the scale than a douche. But I'll put a picture of this worthless piece of shit on the screen now. He just blows my. I have a hard time feeling bad.
Why would anybody feel bad about killing a pedo?
Yeah, but anyway, another thing that goes on with this story is that a lot of people there's like a GoFundMe or like a benefit site to donate to this gentleman who killed this pedophile, to like basically post his bail to get him out of jail. And it's like I don't think it works like that. That's a felony murder charge. You can't just
I wonder if there'll be
have enough money.
I wonder if they'll
get
be
out of jail free.
Right, but I wonder if there'll be like do you think he's going to prison for like 40 years?
No, because he'll be out on good behavior, or
or do you think that the jury will take into account?
Oh yeah, I think it'll be. I for sure 100%. I'm pretty sure it'll be a reduced sentence.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Murder, but isn't murder? I mean, because if the guy like
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you can say murder is murder, but there's a lot of significant circumstantial differences between murder cases.
yeah,
That could change the sentencing, in my opinion. I don't know how that goes legally, but in my opinion, I think there's a lot of circumstantial things that could change the sentencing.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that dude gets sentenced.
Yeah, and that's happened real recently. I think that's been in the last
Yeah, it was
couple
in the
weeks
last
that
week or two
that he
or
was
whatever.
arrested.
Pedophilia, the disease cured by a 20-cent 9mm bullet.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't really have too many questions.
Come on, quit being losers.
We only got no, nobody really interested on this Saturday night, I guess. So
I feel like it'd be really funny if, Dickweed up there and Hull was asking a bunch of questions, but I know there wouldn't be questions that we could even answer really on the podcast. So
Maybe we just gotta stare at him a little bit, make it known. Hey,
no.
you guys, questions.
We're gonna what? I think we're gonna what time? How long have we been doing this?
It's like 8:30 now.
yeah, we've been doing this for a couple hours.
We got a nice little episode. I think we'll call her a night.
We'll try this again next time, but guys, really, you got to try better. Honestly, you just have to
It's
try
Saturday
harder.
night. People are doing
better.
shit.
Just
People are
be-
doing shit.
Just be better. Be
So,
better than what you are right now. Just be a better person.
Maybe the deal is we need to be better.
Maybe if
No, we're incredible.
Maybe
These
if we
people-
berate them enough
Hey,
about being losers that
guys,
they'll want to
you bunch of losers over
in.
here watching. I know you're watching right now. You bunch of losers. Hey, ask us questions. Come on, we asked you to ask us
Stefan
questions.
says courts don't really care about what guys did,
Hey,
what the victim did in the past.
Speaking
which I'll
of
agree with.
speaking of not caring, Stefan, I don't care what you have to say. You're in too late. You should have asked us questions out an hour ago. So, hey.
Well, they have had to just stare at you guys for the last
Well,
hour.
No, I
or
put them
so.
on you when it was your segment.
Oh, great! Then you'd watch.
Well, that's
they
good.
could watch me stutter
Yeah.
through that fucking disaster.
Well, I waited until you kind of pulled it together just a little bit.
Which, hey.
But hey, fellas, let's call our night and have a few toddies and maybe go find some supper. But it's been a fun episode. I enjoyed it.
It's been a good one.
Another Saturday. And I always enjoy the Saturday night episodes. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
But it was a fun one. We'll be back in 2 weeks, obviously. So make sure you check in. And actually we schedule we put a post on our podcast.
Try again.
I
Try one more
I feel like
time,
I'm that guy
please.
on
King of the Hill.
no, that show with Jim Carrey. He's God and he controls that guy.
Yeah,
Bruce
Jim,
Almighty?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Almighty.
Yeah.
I feel like
Steve
I'm
Carell.
I feel like I'm the
Doo-doo
Steve
gaga
Carey.
poo-poo.
Doo-doo gaga poo-poo.
Pee-pee.
It just word jumbles just come out of
Yeah.
my mouth all the time. I can't help it. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. We publish on the
And
podcast
my tiny
every
little nipples went to France.
my tiny little nipples went to France. Every week we at least have something on the podcast. So
Yeah.
every other Wednesday night we go live on Facebook Live with
Do a little gears and beers.
So make sure you catch us.
We
there.
don't talk about cars, so don't ask.
This
I
podcast.
mean, we might.
This podcast was sponsored by Ballistic Imagery, so check them out on Facebook and YouTube. Also was sponsored by Shyworks, Cerakote certified. So make sure you check those out on
We got a
Shyworks.com.
double Cerakote.
I actually probably really won't be on YouTube much. I
Well,
I thought about it, but
Did I say you were on YouTube?
You can do
I believe so.
tutorials.
Excuse
Yeah.
me. Ballistic Imagery is on Facebook
like,
and
hey,
Instagram.
yeah.
You fucking idiots. This
I'm
is how
still
you're
really
supposed
trying to figure
really
my shit
color
out,
a
so-
photo.
Give me a few weeks, all right?
Hey.
I'll figure some things out.
If you
Chris says
recently,
you want to play poker. Yes, Chris, I want to play
Yeah,
poker.
let's
Yes.
play poker.
yeah, duh.
Hell yeah, schedule it.
Cigars, poker, whiskey, yeah, duh.
Stefan
My house,
says,
fine.
Stefan says, sorry, I had to listen to Stuttering Timmy for an hour. Yeah, it's a sickness.
It is. But yeah, guys, if you've recently had a firearm Cerakoted by Shyworks and you absolutely love how it turned out, you cannot stand not having like 3-foot by 4-foot photos of it posted in your house, contact Ballistic Imagery. He'll take these wonderful photos of this beautiful firearm that Shyworks coated, and he'll make it look like $1 million. He'll get you some prints. You can put them up in your house. Guys, trust me, these two do incredible work. You get the Cerakote done by Shyworks. You get the wonderful photos of it done. You know, it's basically just like, you know, dressing your daughter up for prom. You know, you spend all this money on a wonderful dress for her. You want to get pictures taken of it, right? So, and then you're obviously going to have to hang them up in your house. So, Box is your guy. Sam is your guy to get it coated. Box is your guy to get wonderful pictures taken of it. I mean, you got a wonderful group here.
Shit, man. I feel all special and stuff.
God, I don't know what to say. I'm blushing.
Well, hey, it's the truth. You got one guy who does great work. You got 2 guys who do great work. Hey, you can't go wrong.
Well, thank you, buddy. Well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. So, yeah. Facebook.com/Ballistic Imagery. Check it out. So, anyways, guys, like I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks. And actually, we might have a bonus episode here coming in. We got a semi big.
I've always got a
semi big star coming up that we're gonna have on the podcast. We're pretty excited about. So, stay tuned for that. And guys, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, he says,
Stefan,
Box is not your guy for storytelling. Well, neither is Sambo. We both.
Hey, I just wasn't prepared tonight. All right, let me sit down and study this shit for 3 or 4 hours, and I'll be good to go.
Yeah, the Shire boys are not storytellers.
Not just off the cuff
stutter and stammer my way through shit.
I will say not off the cuff storytelling.
Anyways, guys, it's been fun. We'll be, like I said, 4 times now. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
You're really gonna have to close this out.
I hope you guys have a fantastic night. It's Saturday night. Enjoy yourself. Until we talk to you next time, remember, life's short, live free. God bless.
Ask more questions, losers.